Hello my beautiful people. So I just want to do some kind of welcome to my humble abode. I just want to do some notes on the coming Venus retrograde, and it's actually going to start tomorrow on the 5th of October. So depending on where you are, because you'll be getting these early, you know, I like to get them out for you in advance. So let's talk about this. One of the things that I kind of really feel is worth mentioning, I haven't done Venus retrograde specials for everybody, and the reason I didn't do them is because we're saturated with them. Everybody's talking about it. If you haven't seen it, go to my website, www.reydiantreality.com. That's R-E-Y, not R-A-D. And on there, I've put, there's a blog post that's called, you know, that's all about the Venus retrograde. Have a read of it. I think it will give you some insight, some understanding, some background, some context as to what might be happening, how it might shape up, and all that good stuff. Now, that's why I haven't done the Venus retrograde specials, because like I said, not only are we saturated with them, it's one of the things that everybody's talking about. It's on everybody's lips. But there's a few things with astrology that I really want to get across to people, that I really want to hit home to people. You know, some of the really good astrologers out there really hit this home to me, you know, and I'm still learning. I still have a very long way to go on my journey of understanding astrology, you know, and it's like tarot. The journey of understanding and learning is never truly done. You just get to a place where you're competent and proficient. Now, the Venus retrograde will be happening, like I said, on the 5th of October, which here is in the UK where I am is tomorrow. For some of you, it will be, you know, the day after, just because of the time zone thing and whatnot. So, you know, whatever day it happens for you, I'm just trying to get this out in advance. What is important and what you need to remember, all things in terms of astrology, are qualities of moments in time. So when Venus officially goes retrograde on the 5th of October, that specific day, so tomorrow, I personally will be paying attention to what happens on that day. Remember, just like your own star chart, an event chart, a synergy chart, whatever it is, you look at that chart and you are looking at a picture of a moment in time of where the planets are at any given moment in time. And what you're looking at is the quality of life that that event, person, thing, you know, launch, you know, I did a chart for my website launch, which is why I launched on the day that I did and at the time. And if you see it, it's not, a lot of people will be like, oh, I've checked out your chart and it's not very good, and there are some challenging aspects to it, but I specifically chose the challenges that I wanted, and I specifically chose those because I was aware that I was looking at a moment in time, and having the understanding that I'm looking at a moment in time, I can anticipate what is going to unfold over the lifetime of the thing that I created, of the, you know, the website that I launched at the specific time. So when Venus goes retrograde tomorrow, pay attention to what happens tomorrow. Pay attention to the relationships that you've got and what happens in them, the dynamics of them. You know, Venus is going retrograde in the sign of Scorpio. This is all about the power dynamic. It's about what you truly, Scorpio, what you truly desire. What is at the bottom? What are your deepest motivations in the core of who you are? Venus, what do I value? So she's actually amplifying that retrograde to relook at something, reassess, re-examine, redo if need be, in the sign of your deepest and, you know, most held and sometimes even darkest and taboo desires. Venus is going to ask you, what do you truly value here? What do you truly value at that level? And that's what's going to help you understand what your motivations are, where they come from, what is truly driving the decisions that you make based on what you actually value, as opposed to what you think you value on the surface. Remember, we're out of Libra, we're in Scorpio now in terms of Venus. She'll retrograde back into Libra, and I feel, because it is You know, there's definitely going to be some obsessive behavior going on for all of us. I can't even tell you, you know, I'm like looking at it like, ooh, because I know myself. I know what my my moments are and my triggers. Like, one of the things I do is bite my nails. That's one of my obsessive behaviors. You know, and sometimes it's yeah. Anyway, enough of that. But you see my point. If you know what your triggers are and whatnot, you'll be able to anticipate that more. So tomorrow, pay attention to your relationships, what happens in your relationships. Pay attention to the things and the people that you're drawn to. Pay attention to what it is that you feel urged to acquire. Remember, Venus rules money, it rules acquisitions. It's the, excuse me, the lesser benefic, you know, and it's all to do with what we value, what our monetary values are, what our financial state is, you know, mentally, emotionally, actually, physically, materially. It rules all of that stuff. So really be conscious, really pay attention to what's happening. And the reason I've put this prelude in to all these weekly videos is because this it's happening now. And if you can pay attention to especially what happens on the day of when the retrograde starts, it's going to give you an idea of the quality of what that entire retrograde season is going to be about for you, is going to deliver to you. And remember, we always have a choice. We co-create our destinies. Things aren't done to us. They are done with us. And, you know, and in terms of that stuff as well, sometimes the universe takes you to a certain point because you need to make a decision. And if you don't make a decision, unfortunately, like any rule of procrastination, if you don't jump, you'll be pushed. That's how it works. You know, so think about it, pay attention to what's happening, be observant, you know, ultimately be observant with yourself on a really deep internal level. You know, listen to what comes up for you on the inside and pay attention and observe all of the stuff that happens externally, because in that is going to give you sort of, you know, the way that this is going to shape up for you. I'll talk about this more as well as we go forward, because, and this is the other thing that I really want to hit home to people as well. No transit lasts a day. You know, I mean, some of the aspects last a day, and, you know, in that respect, but their effects tend to be felt longer than they actually last in some respects. The eclipses, for as an example, they happen on a specific day, but they take 3 to 6 months to unpack and to assimilate into our lives. Like, some of the stuff that's happening for us now is off the back of the eclipses that we've had. You know, so be aware, be alert, understand what is taking place, you know, and more importantly as well, especially given the fact that it's a Venus retrograde, be gentle with yourself, be gentle with others. You know, this isn't going to be as hardcore as some. It will definitely be driving those obsessions for sure. I don't think it will be as hardcore as what we've had to deal with over the summer and, you know, the course of this year. So with all that said, waffling over, I really hope you enjoy your week ahead videos, and you'll be able to find all the good stuff that I talk about on there. Take care, and I'll see you very soon. Hi Virgo, welcome to your week ahead Tarotscope with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. If you haven't already, please don't forget to like, share and hit that subscribe button. If you are already a continued subbie, thank you so much for all of your continued support. It truly means the world. If you would like to donate to the channel, you can do so on the link below. And if you would like to book a personal tarot reading with me, you can do so on the website address below, which is www.reydiantreality.com, spelled R-E-Y, not R-A-D. Now, with that said, I would like to bless both of these decks with all forms of love, like peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise, and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So your destiny for the week ahead, your destiny card is the overriding theme. It is the biggest shaping energy that comes ahead for the week ahead. And this week you get the Tower. Okay, so Virgo, if it hasn't already, shit's about to hit the fan. This is where something comes crashing down. Something has to break. Now, the good thing about this, as an experience, when you get the Tower card, and I always say this to people, what's the best thing, you know, there's not saying that your life is going to fall apart, but what's the best thing about your life falling apart? That you can put it back together how you choose. The Tower card is basically saying that this week you are going to have some kind of instant realization, whether this is in the form of a person that you realize has actually lied to you about something really that you perceive to be something that you just don't lie about. It kind of says to me that you're going to have a surprise in some way, shape or form. You are going to have a moment where you realize that something that you thought was solid, somebody that you thought was solid in your life actually isn't or wasn't. And this is going to be, you know, the Tower card is not a great card, but its experience in the long run is one of the most liberating and freedom inducing that you can ever have in your entire life. And I can tell you this for nothing, we all have a Tower moment, you know. Some of us have several a year. I mean, as an example, 2012, my Tower moment, I lost my home. And that was a really painful experience, But you know what? With everything else that's come out of it, I can now understand that actually it made me a lot freer than I'd ever been. You know, and that's not saying that you're going to lose your home this week. I'm just giving you an example of how it can be freeing. Okay, this year, as an example, my Tower moment, I walked out of my full-time job and said, right, I'm going to do my my tarot, and you know, I'm going to finally get my website and stuff out there. I've never felt freer or happier in my life. So yes, it was a difficult experience with the whole work thing and how it shaped up and happened suddenly, but you know what? I'm happier now than I've ever been. The context, how this shapes up, how to navigate this experience in the direction card. The Page of Pentacles, the Knight of Pentacles. Keep it moving. This is not a week for you to get stuck. This is not a week for you to get stagnant. For some of you, in terms of your home situation, I kind of feel like if you've been told that you could move in, you might get some delays this week, and it might end up being, you know, not the exact date that you were told, yeah, you can move it. Say, you know, they said to you, oh, you can move in on the 8th or the 9th. It ends up being the 14th or, you know, maybe the week after. But this week you've got to keep it moving. The direction card in the Knight of Pentacles, this is about a mode of transport. I want to say to all of you that have cars, go and get the brakes checked, go and get the battery checked, especially if you've got a long journey to make, and be extra careful on the road, especially any of you that own any type of vehicle, whether it is a motorbike, whether it's a car, whatever. This week, please do your maintenance on your motor vehicle or your personal transport, because the Tower card kind of suggests that something might not be working the way that it should, and you know, this being the mode of transport. In terms of a personal sense, in your personal energy or your outlook on life, keep it moving. This is not a week to stagnate, and the reason I say that is because if you're trying to stand still and dig your heels in, the Tower card is very Uranus energy, so it will shake you and it will move you, and if you don't jump, it will push you. And that's why I'm saying to you, keep it moving internally. You know, don't try to dig your heels in. This is not the week for that. You know, be on the front foot, be, you know, responsive. But yeah, let me know how this shapes up for you. You know, I can't always give you great news, and I don't believe in that either. If you want somebody that's going to tell you every single week, oh, you know, you're going to have the best week of your life, and you know, I'm not going to do that for you, because that's not what's beneficial, and more importantly, that's not what's come up in the cards. I will tell you exactly what I see. I will try to deliver it in the best way that is practical, and also is actually, what's the word? You know, it's beneficial for you so that you can actually act on it. You know, and preempt the changes that might be approaching you. But I'm not one of these fluffy readers that will just tell you everything and anything you want to hear, and week on week tell you that everything's amazing. You don't get anything out of that. That's not how we grow. Anyway, with all of that said, and me waffling and preaching on my little soapbox, For those of you that have them, check your vehicles. Second message, don't dig your heels in, keep it moving, you know, whether it's conversation, whether it's, you know, going on a trip and you think, oh, you know, I don't want to go, and all of that stuff. Keep it moving in any way, shape or form that you can. And the other, you know, whoever it is that appears to be solid, if this week you discover that actually they're human and they've told a porky, think about your response. And the reason I say that is because this is about how you respond, and it's for you. It's about how you will feel in light of your response as opposed to how they will feel. Yeah, with that said, I wish you an abundance of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance itself. Have an amazing week, and I'll see you very soon for more videos. Take care.